Marisol's looking at the console for what the flight button might be. Would it be an obvious button?
It's a very obvious button. Yeah, it's just
button that says up.
It's like a rocket with wings.
She hits it. All right, let's go. By the way, who's in this car?
I'm in.
Jim's in.
Brisket, for whatever reason, is in there too. He doesn't look like he's happy about it, but he still got in.
Simone's still in Sweet Sangria.
Probably, yeah.
Well, while you're in there, Simone, Sweet Sangria does have miniguns.
Yeah, she's gonna arm it and point upwards.
Go ahead and fire off. If you open up Sweet Sangria's sheet, it has go-go guns. Just fire off if you'd like.
I'm sorry,
Guys like go-go guns?
Yeah.
They're called go-go guns.
Hell yeah, go-go guns.
So Whiskey Girl kind of floats. You can actually feel the car start to lift slowly, then hum, and then really start ascending quickly, vertically, and then start to swoop through the air. And you notice that the wheel is now, it's like a joystick. You can actually maneuver it around for altitude. So you can drive it through the air.
She's taken by surprise by this, but she's going with it. Does the console have any go-go gun equivalent as well?
Yeah, it has what look like 2 6-shooters crossed.
Nice. Hey, Nia.
Yeah,
I don't know if that thing needs aimed, but try hitting that button.
I hit whatever button she tells me to.
What?
Also, we should probably pick a target, huh?
You have 4 possible targets.
Are any of them isolated?
They're kind of in a swarm. You actually see Lewis Clark pop back into existence with the formation of the ELO members, and they start flying again.
Whoa.
And a diagonally cut humanoid figure behind Jeff Lynn is holding one hand out as it kind of guides everybody around in the formation. Looks like he is coordinating their flight.
She's squinting at that. That's so fucking weird.
It's so cool we can fly someday.
You can fly right now. You're in a flying car.
Right now.
Whichever one of the 4 you want to aim at. Yeah.
Shoot that smiling son of a bitch.
Aim at your ex-girlfriend.
I know one can turn into air, and the other one can mold her skin. Maybe the lava guy, Jim did some damage to him.
I would have pointed out that all that damage got completely healed when he exploded. But you can try. Why not?
Okay, well, we'll try.
Just roll a 40F plus 4 with 3. Okay. And Simone, which one were you aiming at?
I'm gonna go ahead and aim at Stone Sour.
Simone, your guns hit him. You can actually see him get clipped and almost fall off the tower, enough to cause him to have to hang on with one hand. The shots from Nia's attack with the double revolvers that pop out of either side of Whiskey Girl, you see Stone Sour actually form a rocky shield in front of him that the bullets sink into and crack but don't pierce. He's currently defending himself. He can't advance towards the enemy. Avicii can, though. So you see Avicii just launch himself off the side of the tower at the flying formation and then burst into a cloud of vapor at them. Salipimienta is also launching herself off of the tower at the flying group, flying at them feet first. You see the light shine off of her heels, the ultrafine points, as she prepares to try to impale one of them. The fight turns into a sort of insane midair acrobatic match. You can actually see Salipimienta wrap her hair around one of them and then use him to launch herself at another target. And Avicii is just midair clashing with Jeff Lynn directly, sort of popping in and out of his vaporous form to try to make clutching strikes at the man's throat, just punch out at him, whatever soft organ that can be found. And the bullets are still flying at them from Sugarray. Meanwhile, your car is approaching. I would say within the next round of action, you can maybe do a pass by if you want to try to open the door and do a strike at them, or use your stand to attack them, or whatever. Whichever one you want to get closest to.
Hell yes.
I guess try to get close to Sally? She seems to be in the thick of them.
ELO members are not going to be happy to see this car flying at them, but...
you know what? Yeah, that's...
Except for Lewis Clark, he looks happy.
I was just thinking about yeah, you know what? She does have big guns and stuff. That could be messy if we were in that.
Let's run over the ice guy.
Yeah, you know what? Good idea. We're gonna go to the ice guy.
Oh, good, because he's he is far away from the group and he is laying down cover fire. You can drive right by him. What do you guys want to do once you're by him? I'll give you, at least a few of you, an action round there.
Jim wants to swing at him like a teenager swinging a bat at a mailbox.
Yeah, Biscuit kind of wants to do the same.
Or a night jousting.
Oh, shit!
Yes, to a car.
Yes, please.
All right, go for a Ace of
hold
Spades
on.
swing.
I think it would be super cool and weird, like a combo attack, where just before the sword lands, like he liquefies it and then re-solidifies it as it presses into the guy, so it gets like that, like a hollow point bullet shot to it.
Sure, why not? Roll Ace of Spades with I'll say a +1 with a 9.
+1 from camera.
So a 10. You actually take a big chunk out of him as you drive by and do this huge slash. You can see he's almost cut in half by this. Just shatters right through him. He looks surprised by the attack. The top half of his body is like hanging out. I would say, Marisol, you have an attack if you want to use it.
She's gonna make the car like U-turn in the air so that like the driver's side is like kind of facing him.
You're going to pull a sick mid-air Tokyo drift.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
And she's gonna like
Hell yeah.
open the car door with like the obsidian. I guess she's just gonna make it a freaking spear and just, inspired by Jim, like lance at him.
I would like to shoot the spear with the heat I just stole.
Okay. It's a super hot obsidian spear. So when that weapon like meets his body, you can see his arms quickly rise to grab it. And then the meeting of extreme heat and extreme cold actually causes the spear to explode. Do you want to hold on to it? I'm guessing you'd want to let go after the attack, right?
I pictured that she's not even actually making contact with it directly. She's just kind of like giving it a point to guide it when she has it in her hands.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously she's gonna like let that go because that's still too close, and she's gonna fall back into the car. Does she have any like blast burns?
No, but Sugarray is littered with obsidian shards all through his body, just completely. His top half is just hanging on, and his bottom half is still firmly planted on the side of the tower, but he is just completely porcupined by obsidian shards.
Marisol's gonna disintegrate the glass that's left in the butterflies since it's already done its damage,
Because the ground around him in his environment, he's been standing there for long enough, because it's frozen, you can actually see the void of his like upper body begin to draw in frozen materials and turn towards your vehicle. His body, his upper half turns towards your vehicle and begins to fire off ice rounds. So I'm gonna need you to make, I'm gonna say a 4DF +3.
For the car?
For the
or
car.
For me? Okay.
It's not as heavily armored as Sweet Sangria.
Instead of a roll, can Marisol just clone the car now that her shards aren't there anymore? And then just it be like a superimposed over, Whiskey Girl?
I'll allow it. Fuck it. So this looks insane. Your car just drifts through a second version of the car that eats the ice bullets that Sugarray just fired off. Sugarray, seeing this, begins to pull his top half and his bottom half back together. You actually see the material re-knitting itself as his body begins to regenerate.
Marisol sticks her hand out the window and does like a gripping motion to call the glass into the car instead of it falling to the ground.
The frozen part of the building that Sugarray was standing on is beginning to crumble and collapse down to the ground. Simone, you might want to move Sweet Sangria, I think. You can take another shot if you'd like. Is there any target you'd like to fire at?
Not really. I mean, she'll probably definitely start moving and firing the gun at the target she was.
Okay, at Stone Sour. Go ahead and make another go-go gun roll. Your shots actually managed to knock him sort of slightly off balance again, but it's not enough to peel him off of the tower. He's actually focusing now at the ELO members, and you can see him throw his arms forward, and they begin to turn into like almost magmatic serpents as they fly out towards the cluster of ELO people, trying to whip at them with these great fiery ropes, these blazing ribbons that are just slicing through the air, igniting any debris that they touch. The ELO members are forced to scatter again, but you do see Stone Sour take another rifle round from Kev Kavan, this time in the chest, so it pins him to the fucking wall. And even though it's about a hole the size of a grapefruit right through the center of his chest, it doesn't seem to faze him. It doesn't seem to slow him down. You just see magma leaking out of the wound, and the wound begin to close as magma fills it. Meanwhile, your vehicle up in the air, Whiskey Girl, has caught the attention of the Starmen because of how badly you fucked up Sugarray. As you're driving, you can actually see Salipimienta flying towards your vehicle like a crazy storm of whips, wildly flaying as she dives feet first towards your vehicle.
Oh, shit. I guess now is a 40F.
+3. So you got a 5 versus a 6.
Can I help by putting something on the front of the car? Out of junk, I mean.
Well, what did you have in mind?
Do you know what a cow catcher is?
Yes.
One of those.
Your stand works pretty fast, so I'd say you assemble a cow catcher just in time to meet the force of Salipimienta's diving spike heel attack. It doesn't seem to stop her. She's not a cow. But it does seem to protect the car from as much damage as it could have taken. Her heel is still planted through the hood of the car, though, enough so that she can stand on the hood, basically have a place where she can like keep a secure point, which she's like standing on the front of your car now, right on the hood with her hair whipping around.
So Brisket's in the back seat, right? Probably with Jim. I would imagine Jim's in the back seat too, since he was injured. We would see it on our end, right?
Yeah, you could see her planted on the front of the car. Yeah.
Okay, on the car. You said the hood. Shit. So she's right up there.
She is big, by the way. You could feel the car definitely rock when she hit it.
If she's hooked in there, what if he just went and attacked her foot to like soften it up, do that thing he does? He's going to send his stand like kind of through the front window. With his big weird teeth, he's going to bite at her ankle and try
liquefy it.
When he bites, his head will just kind of splash like water on it.
You get a very disgusting taste in your mouth as her ankle begins to turn to oil or right in your jaws. It works. She dislodges, but it doesn't look like it actually did damage to her flesh. Her flesh, by its own accord, you know this because you're familiar with kind of the dynamics of liquid. It liquefied itself. She has a very strange anatomy, probably not like anything you've ever made contact with.
They would probably guess because he's just back there. Yeah.
You do know what oil tastes like, so you know that. You know what it is. She dislodges, and you watch her hair actually whip of its own accord around the cow catcher that Jim made as she starts to swing her body down and around. And it, like a pendulum, actually, with the force of her will, her body and her like just core strength, she turns your car nose down forcefully as she swings around. And you see near you, actually, Brisket, two spikes pop right through the bottom of the car as she plants her heels down into it.
Brisket goes, ah!
Marisol opens the car door and just takes a ripple chain attack on Sally, any part that she can reach.
This is crazy. Your car's going downwards.
Mia tries to grab the controls and pull up as we're leaning out.
The chain is made out of like the shards left over from a freaking car. I think it can be long enough.
What was Nia doing?
Oh, just trying to pull up on the car since Marisol's hanging out.
Marisol's doing something desperate.
Marisol, when you go to make those strikes, you actually see Salipimienta with her hair begin to whip back against your whip, meeting it blow for blow as she's like firmly planted into the bottom of your car. This doesn't even seem to be an event for her. She's just staring at you blankly as she does it.
So while they're clashing, Brisket's going to look to Jim. And he's going to look at the spikes in the floor, see where she's standing. But hey, Jim. Yeah, you got that sword, right?
Sure do.
Yeah, hold on. Check this out. He's going to kind of slap the floor, and it will ripple like water. He's like, go ahead, stab her right in her coots.
Oh, okay. And he'll attack through the floor.
Passes through like it would water.
Good lord. She's going to invoke her aspect for this to get a +2. Actually, Marisol, while she's like dueling you, she actually begins to strut back and forth, and you can see the spikes like withdraw and push back through the vehicle, the liquid vehicle section. But she is like losing her grip because it is liquid. So she's just kind of like skating sideways as she avoids these attacks, and she's beginning to drift away from your vehicle as she does because she is losing her grip. She dislodges from the vehicle because the floor is liquid. Jim, you feel in your heart of hearts as a knight, you were like a hair away from impaling her with that blade. But Nia, you trying to get the car to pull back up, you finally managed to do it once you've lost the weight.
Marisol kind of just frantically gets back in.
Yeah, Nia helps her pull back in.
Ah, thank you.
That was awesome, Marisol.
You guys can see one of Stone Sour's lava arms whip around and grab Salipimienta and then ignite her. She actually sets a flame.
Because she's made out of oil.
Yeah. And then he violently whips her up towards the ELO cloud. So you see a flaming bundle of whips flying towards them. And you can see her actually begin to turn her body in midair and helicopter her head so that it's just a giant turbine blade on fire coming towards them.